is a presentation about null and alternative hypotheses. What is a null hypothesis? Null hypotheses are assumptions that are labeled as a norm, yet to be tested if desired. And once concluded, they will be proven or disproven. Every day our lives are full of null hypotheses that we test. Example, if you're playing Alien and you find yourself in Ferndale, you head to the market and you click on the market. You're making the assumption that items will be sold and bought there because you assume the game has been coded to have the market functioning. You think that everything will be under control and predictable. Example 2. If you're gathering and you're about to collect 9 pieces of hide and it shows you the exact amount that you can pick up, by picking them up, you assume it will be collected into your inventory because you assume that's how the game is intended to work, based on the fact it was designed and coded to do so. What is alternative hypothesis? The alternative hypothesis is when you don't accept the null slash assume and it leads to trying a different hypothesis that goes against the norm, and it's considered a claim with the incentive of finding the truth. An example will be multiple people assume that the best weapon for PvP is using the death givers due to the fact it has been tested multiple times and it has created a status quo slash norm, but a group of players proclaim that they have a build with the dagger repair that it's 2 times better than the death givers build that everyone uses, yet it's to be tested to come up with a resolution and fully reject the null. Null and alternative properties. Null hypothesis. Null means nothing out of the norm. Assumption, following the definition of status quo. Assumption status quo, nothing out of the norm. Assumed to be true. Refutation of the research question. Always contains a symbol equal, a symbol less or equal, a symbol greater or equal. Alternative hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis is basically the option when the null is rejected. Rejection of an assumption or the given. Research question to be proven. Does not contain equality, and symbol not equal, symbol less than, symbol or greater. Null and alternative symbol examples. The null is equal to some value. The alternative is not equal to some value. The null is less than or equal to some value. The alternative is greater than that value. The null can be greater or equal to some value. The alternative has to be less than that value. Null and alternative statements. All statistical conclusions are made in reference to the null conclusion. Researchers reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject the null hypothesis, and therefore they don't accept the null. This happens because the null hypothesis is assumed to be true from the beginning, rejecting or failing to reject the assumption. If the null hypothesis is rejected, it means the data supports the alternative hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis is likely to be true. If the null hypothesis rejection fails, doesn't mean that it's proven that the null hypothesis is true.